Welcome into Veterans Field on a picture-perfect night for baseball here from Chatham, Massachusetts. We have officially reached the top of the hill here in Game 22 of the 44-game Cape Cod Baseball League season. Tonight's matchup will feature the visiting Harwich Mariners taking on the Chatham Anglers. Both teams look to turn their losing records around heading into the back nine of the season with playoffs on the horizon. Hi everybody and welcome into the broadcast booth. My name is Devin Dobek and I am joined as always by my partner Tim Foley. Well, Tim, both squads reside in the basement of the East Division. The clock is ticking here, so what should be the X factor of one to leapfrog the other in the quest for CCBL infamy?
Well, the biggest thing is going to be able to, if either team's going to be able to handle these head-to-head matchups. I mean, the Mariners right now on the season against Chatham, 0-1-1. That's already 2/3 of your games, or 1/3 of your game played against Chatham, I should say. But against the East as a whole as well, the Mariners are an abysmal 1-6-2. So they really aren't helping themselves out against opponents that they're facing more often than anybody else. And so that just heightens the importance of these matchups here against Chatham, the only team that you really need to stay above. And so Harwich is going to have to come out here and handle business tonight, but it's going to be tough. It feels like a Chatham team that's sort of turning a corner here. They just got Randy Greer into town, somebody who had a 9-year career in Major League Baseball, and we'll talk a bit more about him as the night goes along, but he helped them to a big win last night.
Yeah, they scored over 7 runs for just the second time all season. And so looking to build off that here. Starting lineup for the Harwich Mariners looks like this. Leading off the left fielder, Press Kavanaugh at shortstop. Batting second is Nick Goodwin. Chris Newell's in center, batting third. Brock Wilkin, the designated hitter. It's fourth back in the lineup from Team USA, Joe Vetrano, the number 5 hitter at first base. Graham Pauley at second, batting 6th. Kenny Lavari at third, batting 7th. Tatum Levens does the catching, bats 8th. And Will Hamner rounds out the top 9 in right field. The count is 1-1 to the leadoff hitter and Press Kavanaugh. As that one misses outside, 2 balls and 1 strike now. Press on the season hitting .179, coming off a good game in which he reached base 3 times, thanks to his first multi-hit game of the season and a walk as well. Count is even at 2 now to him. On the mound is Nick Regalado as Kavanaugh chops this one foul. Regalado from Florida Southwestern. He's now committed to Florida Gulf Coast University. He'll be transferring there. Also went to Miami. 2-2 pitch. That one is on the outside corner. Press Kavanaugh gets rung up. And for Press, that will be the 9th time he goes down this season and the first strikeout of the day for Regalado.
Yeah, Regalado, he's got some really good stuff. His calling card is the movement. He's able to get on his pitches from side to side, and he works at an unbelievable clip too. So Chatham's going to be working quick on defense here tonight so long as Regalado's on the mound.
In comes Nick Goodwin. Goodwin coming off an 0-for-3 game in which he did at least walk 1 time. Count 1-0 now to him. And Regalado right back at it. Goodwin fouls it off. For Regalado, this will be his 3rd appearance. He's pitched against Falmouth and Bourne thus far. 7 innings. He's allowed 3 hits, pair of earned runs, and handful of walks at 7. 1-1 is in there. First strike 2. Harwich in their road blues with red lettering, red numbering, all in a white trim, gray pants, navy and red socks. 1-2. This is outside. Chatham in their home whites with the royal blue pinstripe pattern, says Anglers across the front. Blue numbering. As Goodwin now goes down swinging. Just like that, 2 quick strikeouts for Regalado. And there's 2 away here with nothing doing.
Yeah, well, as mentioned, he works quick, and already 2 guys are down on strikes, and he is just so tough to be able to pick up his pitches. And so expect to see a lot of that from him here tonight.
Chris Newell's first at bat of the ball game. He's going to be in some new numbers. Number 21, as Brock Wilkin will assume the number 25 back, and I'd say he's earned that sort of luxury after an MVP season last summer. 1-0. This one is flied into right field for a base hit. Over there to get it is Miller Green. Newell a big turn, but he'll hold up there, and it's 2-out single for Chris Newell.
There you go, able to find some open grass out in right field. That thing has some nice tail on it. It was able to get down, no problem. And it's important for Harwich to be able to get somebody on, extend the inning, get guys another look at Regalado here as Wilkin comes up to bat. Now with the man on, always a threat. But you don't want to start going down 1, 2, 3 like you've had plenty of innings before in games prior.
So first pitch to Brock Wilkin, who is back, is in there for a strike, and quickly we'll take you through the defense. Guy Garibay Jr. in left, Caden Grice in center, Lyle Miller Green in right. Johnny Castagnazzi's at third, Marcus Brown at short, Rock Riggio at second with Noah Ledford at first, and Hayden Travinsky doing the catching for Regalado. They try a pickoff attempt at Newell. He's back in there with the right hand.
Yeah, this is a Chatham team that really prides itself on its defense. That's been one of the few things that's working well for them here this year. Second in the league right now in fielding percentage at .982.
It's a ball and a strike now to Brock Wilkin. He will be one of 2 Mariners returning from Team USA. Kyle Teal was actually picked up by the travel team, but Wilkin is back, and Jonathan Santucci will be rejoining the squad at some point this summer. So definitely will help to get another pitcher back when you lose a Duke guy in Billy Seidel, who's got to get ready for the draft.
Yes, I believe that Santucci is set to go on Sunday, we picked up on, so that would be at home against Brewster on the 10th.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Wilkin. The pitch, cut on and miss. Wilkin goes down swinging, and Regalado able to strike out the side. Does surrender the 1 hit, but Newell is stranded. We head to the home half of the first. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Welcome back. Devin Dobek, Tim Foley bringing you the action from Veterans Field in Chatham. Let's take you through the Chatham Anglers batting order before we get started here. Leading off, the left fielder, Guy Garibay Jr. Batting second, the designated hitter, Cooper Engel. Batting third, the center fielder, Caden Grice. In the cleanup spot, the first baseman, Noah Ledford. In right field, Lyle Miller Green bats fifth. Batting sixth, Marcus Brown at shortstop. Batting seventh, Rock Riggio at second. Hayden Travinsky bats eighth and does the catching, while Johnny Castagnazzi rounds out the top 9 at third base. Carlson Reed set to go for the Harwich Mariners. Comes in with a 1-1 record, 4.15 ERA. This will be his 4th start. He's thrown 13 complete innings, struck out 12 to walking just 9 and allowing 9 hits. As 2-0 to the leadoff hitter, Garibay Jr. And that one will be up high quickly, 3-0.
Yeah, Reed, a guy who's had some issues with his command in the past. We'll see what exactly the Mariners are able to get out of him here tonight.
That one will find the zone, make it 3-1.
And then again, you talk about that Chatham lineup. Rusty Greer. We mentioned him earlier. He's back as that's in there for a strike. It's a full count now. Back here with the Anglers. It's actually his first season coaching with the Anglers after a 9-year MLB career.
This one is crushed out to deep right field. Hammer going back at the track. It's gone. Home run, Guy Garibay Jr. He gets it started with a leadoff solo home run, and it's a 1-0 ball game. Anglers on top.
I mean, that's impressive, just able to turn on a full count pitch and absolutely unloads into right field. That thing was gone by quite the margin.
A blast all the way out to deep right field. A nice job by Garibay Jr. get his team on the map, and yeah, why not? If you're Chatham, they've had struggles offensively, so to start early, it's got to feel pretty good.
Yeah, and that's just his second home run of the season. And again, I'm talking about Greer here, who's going to be working with the hitters a lot, something that these Anglers need. 10th in the league right now in batting average, but had a really good game last night, not last night, the night before, in the 4th of July game here against Orleans, as it's a 1-1 count to the batter in Engel. As a whole, scored 7 runs. Again, just the second time all season they've scored 7 runs.
1-1 offering is swung on and missed. Reed up in the count 1-2 to the hitter in Cooper Engel. He's doing the designated hitting tonight for the Anglers. Comes in hitting .250. No RBIs, but he does have 11 hits. As that one misses just down low, 2-2. Engel does have 15 walks to just 12 strikeouts, so very efficient, patient hitter at the plate. That one once again misses outside, and he's run it full.
It's always impressive when you see a batter who's able to draw more walks than they strike out. Shows a lot of discipline.
So Reed now trying to work quickly. He's into his windup, and the payoff is way up high. And back-to-back batters are able to reach base.
And here we are with Reed. We talked about he's had some control issues in the past, and already issues that first home run, and then a walk here in his second at-bat of the game. Now 10 walks on the season from Carlson Reed.
Caden Grice will climb into the batter's box. He stands in the left-hand side. And for Grice, been a bit of an interesting season. Does have the 7 RBI, 13 hits, but he also leads the Cape Cod Baseball League in strikeouts with 27. 1-0 now to him. Reed trying to find his control.
And that's where you see a lot of guys at these days. This all-or-nothing mentality at the plate.
And that one misses outside. Now 2-0. Reed has thrown now 9 balls to just 5 strikes. Trying to change that ratio before Chatham able to capitalize any more than they already have. Hitters count now for Grice, the pitch. This is grounded right past Graham Pauley. Gets into right field, rounding second, heading into third is Engel. Taking a big turn, but holding over at first base is Grice. And wow, kind of a weird play there, Tim. Must have been something in the infield because Graham Pauley was completely fooled. Excuse me.
Yeah, I mean, that thing was tailing toward the right, and Pauley, he was shifting closer to the second base bag while the ball ended up cutting over toward the right. Must have had some kind of spin on it because he ended up trying to dive back toward the gap after he had already shuffled toward second base by a few feet, and so unfortunate break for Harwich, what should have been perhaps a routine double play to at least get 2 outs in the inning. You now have runners down the corners with nobody gone.
Yeah, it seemed tailor-made almost, 4-6-3, but a weird jump, and Harwich will have to shake it off. Runners on the corners with no outs for Noah Ledford. Ledford comes in from Buford, Georgia. He's got just 3 RBIs, hitting .214 for the Anglers. The next pitch to him misses up and away to make it 1-1. And for the Anglers, they are the worst hitting team in the Cape Cod Baseball League, batting just 182 as a team. Harwich in 8th place, hitting 198. But they have showed out here tonight early on. As Reed takes a look over at first base, Grice back in there, no problem.
Yeah, I'm telling you, this is a new-look Anglers team with Greer in town.
1-1 is on the outside corner for strike 2. Reed looking for a non-contact out. It would be huge to get it out of the cleanup hitter. Ledford in the left-hand side. Reed into his stretch, kicks and fires. He swings and misses at that one. Reed picks up his first strikeout and a big one for out number 1.
Yeah, able to get him on the 82-mile-an-hour off-speed pitch. Got about ahead of it. Nice job cleaning him up.
Lyle Miller Green now in the 5 spot will get his first crack out of Carlson Reed. And for Miller Green on the season, it's just a humbling 111, 5 strikeouts. He's had just 9 at-bats though. Just was reactivated and still trying to get his land legs here in Chatham. 0-1 to him, 93 on that pitch from Reed. He can bring it. And the 0-1. Swung on and missed. That one got in the dirt. Nice stop by Levens behind the plate. And it's 0-2. Press Kavanaugh on left tonight. Chris Newell in center with Will Hamner in right field. Kenny Lavari at third. Nick Goodwin at shortstop. Graham Pauley at second. Joe Vetrano's the first baseman with Levens doing the catching for Carlson Reed. It's 0-2 now to Lyle Miller Green, the right fielder. The pitch. Breaking ball just misses the inside corner. Reed wanted it, won't get it, and he'll have to keep pitching.
And just an idea for what we're looking at from Reed here tonight. Fastball, slider, changeup.
1-2 offering. Just misses the outside corner. Did he go? No, says first base umpire Rick Emerson. Emerson's at first base tonight. Brandon Johnson, the home plate umpire, with Ryan DeMeyer at third base. 2-2 now. Once again to Miller Green, the pitch. Misses outside, and it's worked full. Reed already up to 24 pitches in the inning, 13 of those being balls.
I was going to say, we've seen a lot of full counts already here early.
He's going to have to be more effective if he wants to go deep into this ball game. Longest outing is 5 innings for him. The pitch just misses the top of the zone. He must have had 2 or 3 pitches that missed by an inch or so. But nonetheless, he misses after going up 0-2 to start the at-bat, and they're all loaded up with nowhere to put him for Marcus Brown.
Yeah, he certainly does not have the control as it stands right now, Carlson Reed. He's going to have to find something else here if he wants to get out of this inning with just the 1 run off Guy Garibay Jr.'s second home run of the season.
Marcus Brown of Springdale, Arkansas will climb in. Sitting .215 on the season, Oklahoma State Cowboy. Here comes the first pitch to him. Bounced in the dirt, gets by Levens, and it's going to be an easy run for the Anglers as Cooper Engel comes in to score. Bryce down to third and Miller Green down to second, but not sure what happened over at third base. But Kenny Lavari is down.
My only thought is that I saw the ball trickling in the middle of the infield on the grass. Perhaps Levin checked it down to first base. Nonetheless, don't want to speculate too much on the severity of what may have happened here, but you know, Lavari is in a lot of pain right now. He's got the trainers over there checking on him at the moment.
We will take a quick break while they get Lavari going there and be right back. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Welcome back. Kenny Lavari has exited the ball game, took the baseball off the face, but he walked off on his own power, so we'll keep you updated on him as we can. But defensive changes. Graham Pauly's going to head over to third base. David Smith goes to second. And now it'll be second and third for Marcus Brown. He's up in the count 1-0.
Yeah, you hate to see something like that happen, obviously. Levin's just trying to get the ball down to third to try to cut down the runner, perhaps, in Caden Grice as he was sliding into the bag, but it took a hop, ended up catching Lavari up high, and so he has to step out of the game now.
Yeah, that will not feel good. Brown, the shortstop, he's got a chance to drive in a few more and extend Chatham's lead here. The pitch. Cut on and missed, and it's 1-1. Brown hitting .215 on the season, 14 hits and 65 at-bats. He's drove in 7, and he's got 5 walks to go with that resume. Reed into his set, and here comes the 1-1. On the outside corner, makes it 1-2. Reed could use a big punch out. He's had trouble finishing batters. Getting ahead hasn't been that much of a struggle, but still just one out here. And the 1-2 offering. Foul tipped into the mitt. Levins hangs on, and that will be out number 2. Second strikeout for Carlson Reed.
You know, he's battling back here, able to strike out 2 out of the last 3, but again, that control's been a bit all over the place so far here in this first inning from Reed.
Big out for him. Harwich trails 2-0, but if they're able to minimize that based on how this inning got going, I think they will take it. Rock Riggio now will climb in, and he lines one into right field for a base hit down the line. In to score easily is Grice. Miller Green's going to score. The play to second. He's going to round second. Here comes the play at third. Riggio is in there safely. The throw wide. It's a bases clearing triple for Rock Riggio. Lets out some emotion there. 4-0 Anglers.
Yeah, Chatham is feeling it right now at the plate. They are seeing everything so well. 3 hits, excuse me, and 2 walks already. Granted, 2 guys have gone down swinging, but this is about as excellent a first inning you could perhaps have hoped for if you were Chatham. Again, scored 7 runs yesterday for just the second time all season against Orleans. Or not yesterday, I apologize, the 4th of July. But, I mean, how many games have they played this season where they've scored just 1 or 2 runs? So many this season. Last time they scored 4 in a game. Beyond the 4th of July was a 4-4 tie with Hyannis. That was back on Sunday the 26th in the second doubleheader of the season. So it's been a long time for them getting offense like this.
It is 0-2 now to Travinski, and that magic number of 3 runs. When an opponent scores 3 runs against the Mariners, they have never come away without a point. As here comes the 0-2. 1-2 now. That one bounced in the dirt, and to quote on that, I mean, in the first inning, it's been 4-0. That is the most earned runs Carlson Reed has allowed in an outing. 3 was his previous high. The pitch. Checked his swing. Yes, he did, says the home plate umpire. So Travinski goes down. Reed picks up his 3rd strikeout, but we will head to the break. Chatham out to a big 4-0 lead. Guy Garibay Jr. started it all with a solo home run, and then it was added to by Rock Riggio, a bases clearing triple. We'll take a quick break and bring you the second inning. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network.
from Boston College, number 30, Joe Vetrano.
Welcome back. It'll be Vetrano, Pauly, and Lavari set to get, or excuse me, David Smith, who was subbed in for Lavari, to get going here in the top of the second. Harwich already looking up a big hill at a 4-0 deficit that Chatham was able to hang up for their starter in Regalado, who was fantastic, had 3 strikeouts in 4 batters he faced back in the first, as he clocks in there to make it 0-1.
Yeah, it was a long break in between innings for Regalado now that he's got this 4-run lead. So he was already coasting. See how he settles back in.
And Vetrano flips this one over the shortstop Brown Fields and fires on to first for out number 1.
He's got a lot of really just low pitches. Not a lot that you're going to be able to pull up high and really take out to center field or anywhere in the outfield for that matter. And so you're going to see a lot of contact like that played through, across the infield.
So Graham Pauly will climb in. With Harwich, he's been 4 for 12. Both of those, or excuse me, there's been 2 hits in each of the 2 games he's had a hit in. So 2 multi-hit games for Pauly, including one against his former team, Katuitt, that was pivotal for Harwich receiving a point, as count is 0-2 to him.
Yeah, he's been good recently. You know, in Harwich you need that, some kind of injection of life.
That one just misses the outside corner. Travinsky wanted it, but it will stay at 1-2. David Smith on deck, and the offering is fouled off. So Pauly hangs in there, still 1-2.
And a lot of times you will see it's these guys who have been cut by one team. They find themselves a home with another, and the rest of the season they feel like they have something to prove.
As Pauly flips this one into center field, but it's caught. A sinking line drive is a nice play for Caden Grice out in center. Quickly 2 away. Now David Smith will climb in. And for Smith, just got subbed into this game as Kenny Lavari went down. From Collegeville, Pennsylvania, hitting just 148 for Harwich this season. A Yukon Husky, as the first pitch is dropped in there for strike 1 from Regalado. Next one just misses outside, 1-1. So yeah, quick work for Regalado. He wastes no time out there. Already back into his windup. And this one is chopped foul off to the left and makes it 1-2. Catcher Tatum Levins is on deck. Harwich would not like to go down 1-2-3 following that big bottom of the first rather. Smith checked his swing. Did he go? No, says the third base umpire. A close one, but Smith stays alive. It's 2-2.
Yeah, just about everybody was headed back to the dugout. It looked like a close call, but Smith stays alive.
So with an extra life, the pitch. Down low, 3-2. Smith has walked 3 times on the season. Here comes the payoff. Bounced in the dirt, and that will be ball 4. So David Smith is on here with 2 outs, and Mariners will try and move him over.
And again, good here if you're Harwich. You don't just go down 1-2-3, although it's identical to the first inning where the first 2 guys go down and then the last guy has to try to pull something together to salvage the inning. And so now you pass it off to Tatum Levins, who's been feeling it a bit better here recently for Harwich at the plate. Opportunity to drive Smith around.
He's average up to 178. Had a pair of hits in the loss to Brewster back on July 3rd. Got on base 3 times in that ball game, but it wasn't enough as Harwich suffered what would prove to be one of the worst losses in the point streak era. 1-0 to Levins.
Yeah, at least for the Mariners. It had been a long time since having a loss like that, but you know, then came back on the 4th and showed a lot of resolve, only allowing the 1 run the next day. Granted, you only scored the 1, but even still, to be able to get a point off of a team that just flat out embarrassed you the day before, you take that.
1-0 pitch is in there at the knees to even up the count, and you had to touch on that. It was one of those games that you really thought Harwich would have. 7 2/3 no-hit innings from Savino and Seidel, and the run that they scored was unearned. That being Brewster, as it's chopped foul 1 and 2. 14 runners were left on base as well in that ball game for Harwich.
Yeah, that was a league high total. No other team in any other game has left 14 runners on base this season.
1-2 pitch coming to Tatum Levens. Breaking ball catches the outside corner, and he's rung up. So the 4th strikeout of the day for Regalado allows him to escape the inning. We head to the home half of the 2nd. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Bottom of the 2nd inning here at Veterans Field. Sun setting to the left, and hopefully we'll escape into the trees shortly, as visibility with the glare is not the greatest.
Fighting a lot of adversity right now up here in the broadcast booth.
Yeah, you could call it a booth, I guess. Got a little table behind the crowd here.
We are in the thick of it.
First pitch to Johnny Castagnazzi, the 9-hitter. Got a piece of Levens. He is hunched over right now, head in the dirt. Home plate umpire checking on him. He's just going to need a minute. A very tough customer. But yeah, he got hit in the meat spot.
Yeah, Harwich is taking a beating here tonight. On the scoreboard, on the field. Already last inning out on defense, you had Kenny Lavari take a throw down to down to third base in the face, and so he's exited the game. So now you've had to go with plan B. You have Pauly over at third, and Smith's into the game all of a sudden over at second. And now, of course, Levens, he's all set now, and we'll resume. He is a tough customer.
0-1 is swung on and missed. Gets away from Levens, but it's 0-2. Looked like it caught him in like part of the without pads, rather. Part of the body without pads. Maybe the thigh. 0-2. Reed trying to set down yet another. Does have the 3 punch-outs. That one just misses outside, and it's 1-2. 92 miles an hour on that pitch from Reed. Another 1-2 offering is outside 2-2. Reed is 6'5", 210 pounds from Marietta, Georgia. As another 2-2 comes to Reed, and it came a little up and in, full count. Castanyazzi will be followed by the top of the order with Garibay Jr. and Engel set to be due up. Another payoff is in there. Strike three, got him swinging. Carlson Reed strikes out the leadoff man. A big first out, his fourth of the ball game.
Yeah, pulled the string on that one. Just 80 miles an hour, slowed things down after giving him 92 the pitch before. So good stuff from Reed to get this inning off to a much better start than he had back in the first.
As Guy Garibay Jr., who hit a leadoff home run to start the ball game, will get his second crack at Reed. The count is 1-0. As the 1-0 offering just misses outside, make it 2-0. Reed trying to pick up his pace, that's for sure. Working very quickly to counter Regalado. That one finds the zone on the outer portion, and it's 2-1. 2-1 pitch is right in there at the knees to make it 2-2. So Garibay Jr.'s got to protect here. See how Reed decides to approach it. The pitch runs just inside, and it will be 3-2. Yet another full count.
Yeah, I mean, we had to have seen 3 or 4 full count at bats back in the first, and this is already the second in just 2 batters.
Payoff is swung on and missed. Carlson Reed gets him to go down swinging. They've taken a lot of time and effort, but he has picked up 5 strikeouts.
Yeah, and he's matched his season high. Had 5 back in his first start of the season against the YD Red Sox. So he's settled in thereabout, but still have to wonder about the control. The fact that these counts are getting so deep into the count, again, a lot of 3-2s, not always going to go in your favor as a pitcher.
1-0 offering is on the outside corner, make it 1-1. Chatham with 3 hits, Harwich with just the 1. Neither team with an error yet, but the Anglers have a crooked 4 on the scoreboard compared to the Harwich 0. Breaking ball just misses outside, 2-1. Engel walked and scored back in the first inning. This is second at bat, and he chops it over to Smith at second. Smith's got it and goes on to first for out number 3. It's a 1-2-3 second for Carlson Reed. Mariners coming up in the third inning. We'll take a quick break and be right back on the other side. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network.
Inside the Orpheum Theater when you're there to watch a movie.
Welcome back. Top of the third inning. Will Hammeter, Press Kavanaugh, Nick Goodwin due up for the Harwich Mariners. Hammeter on the season for Harwich, hitting just 100. He's got 1 hit in 100 at-bats. Member of the Alabama Crimson Tide. He's punched out 4 times in those 10 at-bats as well. He chops the first pitch he sees over to second. Rock Riggio is there and fires on to first. One pitch, one out for Regalado. He is rolling here into the third inning.
Yeah, and Harwich, again, not putting up too much of a fight. Trying to avoid having the first two batters retired across their first 3 innings now. Kavanaugh, if he's able to get on.
Just 35 pitches from Regalado thus far. And now the first one to Kavanaugh is on the inside corner for strike 1. 74 on that off-speed pitch. Regalado is back on the hill and ready for more. The windup and offering in there at the knees. 0-2. Prez Kavanaugh in the hole.
Yeah, that just does so much for you as a pitcher to be able to throw pitches for strikes and just go right after guys early in the count.
Breaking ball is lifted out to deep right field. Going back is Miller Green, and he's got it right in front of the warning track for out number 2.
Yeah, that thing popped off the bat of Kavanaugh and carried him all the way back to the warning track, but it just didn't have enough lift in it to make it over that iconic blue fence that's here at Veterans Field.
That it is. 357 to both left and right center field. About 385 to center, 314 down the lines. As Goodwin gets the first pitch he sees and lines it into right field for a 2-out single. Fires through first base. And now there's 1 on with 2 away for Chris Newell.
This is the 3rd inning out of 3 where the first 2 have gone down for the Mariners, and then they've managed to get the next guy on to first base. And so can they continue to produce here in a 2-out hole? Obviously not ideal to lead off batters go down, but this is where you're at now, so you need to try to produce here with 2 gone.
And if the sample has proved anything, it's that this next man, Chris Newell, will also go down. He watches ball 1 go by at 87 miles an hour, and he's up in the count.
Yeah, Regalado's closed out each of the first 2 innings with strikeouts at that.
Newell does have a single in the ball game. He's now up 2-0 on the inside pitch. He was stranded following a Brock Wilkin strikeout. Brock awaits on deck. 2-0. It's cut on and missed. Big swing from Chris Newell, and it's 2-1.
Yeah, Harwich on the season just so aggressive at the plate when it comes to their approach. Not often do they take walks as a lineup. Just 60 on the season, tied for 9th in the league.
2-1 is chopped up the middle. A nice play by Brown. He fires on to first and gets Newell by a step and a half. So that will do it. Mariners strand 1 for the 3rd straight inning. We head to the home half. Chatham coming back up to the plate looking for more damage. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Caden Grice, Noah Ledford, and Lyle Miller Green due up for the Chatham Anglers. They were retired in order by Carlson Reed back in the 2nd inning. 5 of the 6 outs that Harwich has got through 2 innings have come by way of the K from Carlson Reed. They trail by 4-0 in what has been a offensive slugfest in that first inning for the Chatham Anglers. First pitch to Grice, misses, and it's 1-0. Grice already has a base knock in which he came around to score. That was the third run of the ball game. Count is 1-1 now to him. A Clemson Tiger on the season, hitting 200, pair of homers, and 7 RBIs. As he throws the bat deep into the crowd, it's sailing into a tree. Grice, I believe, the person who did that at White House a few nights ago, Tim.
I think you're right, Devin. I was about to say, that's the third time in, I think, 4 games we've seen that here in a Mariners game. And, yes, I believe it was Grice, an identical situation where he cleared the protective netting altogether. I mean, my goodness, I don't know what it is that leads to that happening. Funny enough, he's actually not going to get that bat back. Has to go and pick up a new one from the dugout. Nobody's going to return that. I mean, I figure if you almost get hit by a bat in the stands, you're entitled to keep it. So, geesh. Scary situation. Hope everyone's all right. Not exactly always going to expect a baseball bat flying at you. At least with a pop fly that's going foul, you have some time. But, boy, I saw the fans over there trying to do everything they can to warn who may have been in the bat's trajectory. Hope everyone's all right.
Hope everyone is all right indeed, Tim. Yeah, Grice definitely second time in the last week he's done that against Harwich. That one misses outside. We got to get him like a bunch of duct tape put around his hands, like in the bench warmers. Tape the bat to his hand.
It's going to be tough when he has to run down to first.
2 balls, 2 strikes to the center fielder. Reed kicks, delivers, and it's chopped foul over to the Harwich dugout. Draws out Stokely and Lavari. So Lavari's moving around over there. He's got some ice on his face, but nice to see him laughing, having a good time with the team. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Reed kicks and delivers. Swung on and missed. Down goes Grice. The 6th strikeout of the day for Carlson Reed. He's getting into a bit of a rhythm here. 5 straight anglers have gone down.
Yeah, and he's now tied his collegiate high of 6 strikeouts that he had back in 2021 against Pitt. So it's been so interesting what we've gotten from Reed today. The control's been a bit all over the place, but again, 6 strikeouts, CCBL season high, and he's tied again his collegiate high.
And that collegiate high was across 5 2/3 against Pitt. And who's catching for him? Tatum Levens of Pitt. I'm not sure if he was there at that time. He might have transferred.
I was going to say he was with LaSalle at that point in time, coming into his first season with the Mariners. But yes, funny enough.
2-0 offering now to the batter, and Noah Ledford is in there for a strike, 2-1. Ledford was the first of the 5 strikeout victims. 6 strikeout victims, excuse me. As that one's in there, and it's 2-2.
I mean, you have to like what you're seeing now from Reed. Obviously, beyond the fact that he's just calmed down, he's been able to find his spots a lot better.
As that one cut on and missed. Carlson Reed, back-to-back-to-back strikeouts. Picks up number 7. That is a new collegiate and CCBL high for him. He has got number 7.
But just the fact, too, that you're going to be able to rely on him to pick up some more innings, because he's a guy who's gone at least 4 across all of his starts so far to this point in the season. You need him to be able to take up time on the front end to get this bullpen to a spot where they can help carry it toward the finish line.
It's 0-1 to Miller Green. And for Reed, he's already up above 60 pitches. As this one is punched into center field. Jammed him up, but Miller Green fights it off. And he's on base for the 2nd time. First player in the ballgame to be on twice.
Yeah, and that's a good point, too. Pitches right about the low 60s at the moment. He's a guy who, across his 3 outings so far, has only thrown about mid-70s. And so if you look at that, he's probably only got about like 10, 15 more pitches in him. If Coach Englert wants to go on a pitch count, as opposed to trying to reach an innings threshold. So we'll see just how long Reed stays out there for.
As new batter Marcus Brown climbs into the left side and fouls first pitch he sees off to the left, 0-1.
Yeah, 77 pitches, excuse me, in the game against Wareham back at White House Field, then 76 in his 2 other starts this season, but he's gone at least 4 in every start.
As here comes the 0-1 to Brown. Reed will take a look over at the runner. He's back in safely. That broke up a streak of 6 straight that Reed had retired after surrendering 4 runs. 0-1 to Brown still. He struck out back in the first inning. The pitch. There goes the base runner. Levens can't get the transfer, and it's going to be an easy stolen base for Miller Green. Oh, and 2 is the count. He was able to get the strike call. Brown trying to drive in yet another run. Chatham's got a 4-run lead, but can't be too careful. The pitch. Swung on and missed. Carlson Reed checks in. Strikeout number 8 of the ball game for him. He is starting to roll. We'll take a quick break. We go to the 4th inning. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network.
The designated hitter from Wake Forest.
Welcome back. We head to the middle third of the ball game, and for play-by-play duties for innings 4 through 6 is going to be Tim Foley. Tim.
Thanks so much, Devin, as Brock Wilkin, the Wake Forest Demon Deacon, back from his stint with Team USA, steps up to bat. He is 0 for 1 on the day, struck out swinging to close out the first inning. Nicholas Regalado's back on the mound. It is now his 4th inning of work. The first pitch into Wilkins going to find the top of the zone, and the count opens at 0-1. Regalado, he's looked great so far. He's only faced 4 batters across each of his 3 innings. He's been able to successfully retire the first 2 as Wilkin goes and swings at a 76-mile-an-hour off-speed pitch. He's behind in the count 0-2. Been able to retire the first 2 every inning, allows the 3rd man to get on to first, but then they advance no further as the 4th man up's been retired. That's held true for 3 straight innings as the 0-2 pitch is going to miss up high at 90 miles an hour, and the count moves to now 1-2. Couple of scores to report across the Cape Cod Baseball League. It's a tie game between Brewster and Catuit. That game's wrapped up from Stony Brook because that's going to be chopped foul right down the 3rd baseline. It's still a 1-2 count to Wilkin. Hyannis and Bourne, they're tied 1-1. That's in the top of the 7th at McKeon Park. It's 0-0 over at Spillane Field between Orleans and Wareham. And YD has a 3-0 lead over the Falmouth Commodores over at Arnie Allen Diamond at Gov Fuller Field. The 1-2 is going to be rocketed out to left field. That goes back. That is gone. Brock Wilkin turns on a 77-mile-an-hour pitch and sends it over the fence and left. Welcome back to Harwich. He's able to get the Mariners back to within 3. It's 4-1 Chatham in the top of the 4th inning.
Yeah, and that was a blast. Got the hands inside of it, was able to lift it all the way up and way out of the ballpark. Huge. Maybe the momentum swing that Harwich needed as Regalado was really in a groove.
Yeah, just something to disrupt the rhythm he was in, because he was just calm, cool, and collected for so long. And we'll see just how he's able to settle back in as Joe Vitrano stands in now. Vitrano's going to hit the first pitch on the ground, right side. Riggio picks it up, throws on to first, and that's in time. So Regalado right back into it. He's able to retire the very next batter on the very next pitch.
Just missed that one. Joe Vitrano trying to join the madness. Big swing, but it goes off the end of the bat. Almost a tough play for Riggio. It hit the heel of his glove, but he was able to gather and get it over to first base.
Again, Harwich, they love to be aggressive at the plate, as, again, a first pitch swing. That's going to be picked up by the second baseman. Riggio tries to spin and throw it onto Ledford at first. As he was on the ground, he tumbled and instead rifled it right back to Regalado on the mound, and so it doesn't go anywhere. Paulie's over onto first base safely, and so the Mariners are, for the first time this inning, able to get 2 men on.
Yeah, nice piece. We'll call it an infield hit. They officially scored it. So Graham Paulie checks in with another one. Good to get his momentum going. And now with just 1 out, David Smith will get to climb in for his second at-bat. Walked back in the second.
It's the first pitch to him. Smith checks his swing, thought about it, but that one skipped well in the dirt. Had no choice but to check his swing, and certainly so, I would say, a hit compared to an error there, as even if Riggio had been able to get Ledford in his line of sight, I'm not quite sure he would have been able to make the throw over to first base in time. It's a 1-0 count to Smith. That's going to be tipped back. Looked like it went off of the umpire, but he stands there as if he took no contact whatsoever. That is a brave man there behind home plate. It's a 1-1 count, as unfazed is Brandon Johnson. He is behind home here tonight. Check over to first base, and unwavering on the bag, Graham Paulie didn't even have a lead, but he was checked on by Regalado. So it's a 1-1 count to Smith. The pitch, that's going to miss outside, and the count is now 2-1 to Smith. Smith came into this game in a bit of an odd circumstance. Kenny Lavari in the bottom of the first inning had suffered an injury, and Smith immediately had to come in. Filled in over at second as Paulie then subbed over to third, filling in from second base as the 2-1s foul back off and out of play. It's now a 2-2 count. Regalado, he's looking for his 5th strikeout of the night, if he can get it. Stares in at Smith. Paulie, well off of first, makes a couple of cuts over in the base path and decides to double back for first. They'll pick off, they'll at least make a pickoff attempt over to first once again on him, and so Paulie trying to create some mayhem over at first base, trying to keep Regalado off kilter. It's a 2-2 count. The pitch. That's just going to miss outside, and the count runs full here. We haven't seen too many full counts out of Regalado. He's either been able to get guys to strike out ahead in the count, or Harwich has been able to get on base with a couple of hits. We'll see as this one's going to be pushed foul. The 3-2 pitch is going to be hit over toward the Anglers' dugout, and at 88 miles an hour, we will do it once again.
Broke his bat there, jammed him up, so he'll have to get a new piece of lumber, climb back in there for this last pitch.
And it did come right inside on him. Nice job being defensive with it, at least able to get a piece of it, even if it was not a lock to find grass. It's a 3-2 count to Smith. He stands back in with a new bat. Staring in now is Regalado. Here's the 3-2. That's hit on the ground left side. A hot shot over to Castagnazzi. Throw on to second for 1, to first for 2. No. Boy, Johnny Castagnazzi fielded that thing. It was an absolute heater off the bat of David Smith. They did manage to gun down Graham Paulie over at second. So mark that a 5-4 put out there, but David Smith is able to leg it out as he heads down to first safely, and the inning continues for now. Tatum Levens up to bat.
Credit to Noah Ledford. That was a full extension off the bag. I mean, he almost did the splits to try and create the out, but a bang-bang play goes in the favor of the Mariners this time. And now we'll see if Hamner can make it hurt. Or Levens, excuse me.
Levens 0 for 1 on the day, struck out looking back in the second inning. He'll take a first pitch strike and fall behind in the count 0-1. Levens on the season for the Mariners. Right now he's batting just 179. On base percentage sitting at 273. He's been trying to find a bit of a groove here as that's going to get away from Travinski behind home plate on the 0-1 pitch. It's now a 1-1 count as David Smith is able to scurry down to second base. Mariners now have a man in scoring position for the first time all night.
Yeah, huge for Harwich to have a man in scoring position. Favorable matchup for Tatum Levens, a lefty on a righty. And now all he's got to do is find a home for this one, and he can cut the lead down to 2.
Discussion on the mound here between Travinski and Regalado, as Regalado, this is certainly his most laborious inning of work. He's trying to match what would be a season high in regards to innings pitched if he can get out of this inning. Pitched 4 innings against Bourne. That was back last month against those Braves, and then against Brewster as well toward the end of June. That was another 4-inning outing, credited with the loss despite giving up just the 1 run. The 1-1 pitch is going to miss inside, 89 miles an hour. It's now 2-1, 2 gone. Man on second is David Smith. Regalado comes set, stares back towards second, looks home, second again. The pitch. That's going to miss outside. It's 3-1. Again, have not seen too many counts that have been worked to 3 balls. He's only walked 1 batter so far. That was David Smith, who only got as far as first back in the second inning. Regalado stares in. Here's the 3-1. That's going to miss outside. Ball 4. So the last 3 batters have gotten on for the Mariners. Although David Smith, he did get on with a fielder's choice, and so there's only 2 on. It will be Will Hamner with now a chance to do some damage here for the Mariners. They've already gotten 1 across in this inning thanks to Brock Wilken hitting a home run in his first game back for the Mariners since June 25th against the Orleans Firebirds. Wilken, it was just his 2nd home run of the season, but he is back and he is letting everyone know it. The first pitch into Hamner misses for a ball, and the count opens at 1-0. Hamner on the night, 0 for 1, grounded out to second base to open up the 3rd inning. Regalado stares in, holds the glove about waist height, the pitch. That misses outside as well, and it's now 2-0. We're seeing a lot of pitches that are just missing outside. They have good height on them, but just not able to keep them on the outside part of the plate. Not enticing enough to get batters to swing. And that is going to force a conversation on the mound. They're going to talk about it here very briefly. And they're going to try to sort things out here for Regalado. Can't quite see the Chatham bullpen from here. They do have a guy working down there. A couple of guys working, at least a lefty. As it's still a 2-0 count here to Hamner. Certainly going to look to at least get Regalado out of this inning. Match his season high for innings pitched. Then try to hand it off to the bullpen thereafter. It's a 2-2 count. These are 2 teams that have been struggling to pick up wins recently. Harwich has not won since June 26th. That was not this most recent Saturday, but the Saturday prior. As the 2-0 is going to find the zone outside part of the plate, finally able to pick that spot. It's 2-1. It was a win in the first game of the doubleheader against Wareham. And for the Anglers, I believe it was the day before that they actually had their last win. So they've been hurting for just about as long as that's hit on the ground left side. Picked up by Brown, throw on to first is in time. And the inning ends. It's another broken bat as well as Hamner's retired. So the Mariners get a man on. And they send him around. Brock Wilkin hits his second home run of the season to get the Mariners back to within 3, but they do leave 2 stranded. We head to the bottom of the 4th inning. The Chatham Anglers back up to bat when we return. In the meantime, don't go too far. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Welcome back to Veterans Field here in beautiful, as always, Chatham, Massachusetts. Tim Foley, Devin Dobick along with you. It'll be the bottom third of the lineup due up for the Anglers. Rock Riggio, Hayden Travinski, and Johnny Castagnazzi. Back on the mound, it's his 4th inning of work. It's Carlson Reed. Reed, so far, he's struck out 8 batters. That is higher than his collegiate high, which he achieved over a year ago against Pitt. So it's been a long time since he's been able to record strikeout numbers like this, but it's been impressive to see when he's been on. He was really rattled back in that 1st inning, allowed 4 runs as it's a 1-1 count. The 1-0 was swung on and missed by Riggio, but was rattled back in that 1st inning, allowed a leadoff home run to Guy Garibay Jr., allowed 2 walks in the inning as well, a single, a bases clearing triple as well. As the 1-1 comes in, that's going to miss down low. It's now 2-1, and the triple came with the bases loaded, so that's how you get 4 runs. It's a 2-1 count here to the batter in Riggio, who hit that triple in his last at-bat, 1 for 1 on the day. The pitch. That's in there for a called strike. It's 2-2.
Yeah, big game thus far. These teams average just about over 5 runs combined a game. 2.47 for the Anglers, 2.85 for the Mariners. And we already have that here through just 4+, Tim.
Yeah, it's going to miss outside, and the count is now going to run full 3-2. And yes, not that the Mariners have exactly been pulling their weight, but yes, we've seen more offense between these 2 teams than perhaps we'd be accustomed to. As that's going to be pulled out to right field, foul. That thing was a tower out toward right. If that stayed fair, then that would have been gone for certain. It's a 3-2 count here to Riggio. Reed rocks and delivers. That's hit on the ground right side. Vetrano takes a step after he picks it up, and he's ultimately able to make it over to first base. And there's the first out of the inning. That was a hard hit ball over his way.
Nice play by Joe. Let it come to him. Didn't need him up, though. He was able to absorb it and head over to the bag. Big out number 1 for Carlson Reed. Not sure how much longer he'll stay out there, but as long as he's getting outs, might go a little longer than we anticipate.
This brings up Hayden Travinski, who takes a first pitch called strike. He's behind the count, 0-1. Travinski, he's a big fella, 6'3", 218. As the 0-1 comes in, fastball, 91 miles an hour, misses down low. It's 1-0. He tends LSU, batted .242 with the Tigers this past season. Checks his swing on the 1-1, and the count is now 2-1. Not his greatest season with the Tigers. Of course, 2020 didn't have much of a sample size, just the 9 games before things were shut down. As that's going to be hit on the ground, left side. Pauly picks it up. Throw over to first is in time. Pauly scooped that one up. That was right about level with the ground. Didn't take too many hops. Tumbled right over into his glove, and he took his time, really lined up the throw, but once he unleashed it, that was a line right over to the glove of Joe Vitrano. So there's 2 gone now here in the bottom of the 4th inning.
Yeah, and it was a long throw. I mean, this was not an easy play for Pauly ranging to his left. He definitely had to set his feet and make a good throw, or else it could have been an infield single. Credit to him. Wasn't planning on playing third base tonight. Took his infield reps at second, but he makes it look routine.
As first pitch comes in to Johnny Castagnazzi. He'll take a first pitch called strike, and the count is 0-1. I'm not sure if I see that correctly, or if maybe the radar gun was off, or it was reading the throw back from Levens, but that pitch came in apparently 59, as that one's going to miss up high, and that's 78 miles an hour. Count now 1-1. I'm not sure if the radar gun just missed Reed's pitch. We'll keep an eye out. I'm not sure we've seen a pitcher intentionally thrown anything under 60 this season. Anything under 65 at that, as that one misses up at 90 miles an hour. Can you imagine that, a 31 mile an hour difference between your ceiling and your floor as a pitcher? That would be some kind of tool. It's 2-1. That's fought off foul. It's now going to be 2-2 here to Johnny Castagnazzi. His team holding on to a 4-1 lead right now over the Harwich Mariners in the bottom of the 4th inning here from Veterans Field. As 2-2 pitch comes in from Reed. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Castagnazzi slams his bat in disgust. We'll head to the top of the 5th inning as Carlson Reed now has 9 strikeouts across his 4 innings pitched. We'll be back with the top of the 5th in just a minute. Mariners due up when we return. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. We bring you back to Veterans Field here in Chatham, Massachusetts. Tim Foley and Devin Dobick along with you. It's the top of the order for the 3rd time tonight for the Harwich Mariners. Press Kavanaugh leads it off as Nicholas Regalado is back out there. It is now his 5th inning of work. That's going to be hit over to the shortstop, Brown. Throw on to first is in time by about half a step as Kavanaugh's retired on 1 pitch. 1 down in the top of the 5th inning. Regalado now up to 67 pitches as this is now his longest outing of the season. Again, he's gone 4 innings twice, now officially a 4 1/3 here as he faces off against the 2-hole hitter, Nick Goodwin, who's 1 for 2 on the day.
See what Goodwin can do. Did have that nice line drive. That came back in the 3rd inning. But his offense needs to get going. Just 4 hits aside, and they trail by 3.
That's going to miss down low, and the count is 1-0. Regalado stares in, kicks and delivers. And that's in for a strike now. 88 miles an hour, called strike. It's 1-1. A peculiar trend this year across the Cape Cod Baseball League as the 1-1 comes in. That's going to miss outside, 2-1. There have already been 16 ties across the league at about the midway point. 17 now if you consider the tie that was recorded earlier today between Brewster and Katuitt, as that swung on and missed by Goodwin. It's now a 2-2 count. That matches the league high last year across the full 36-game slate of 17. As the 2-2 pitch comes in. That's going to miss outside. Count runs full here. The league average from 2019 to 2009 was just about 7.3 ties across the entire league per season. And so now already more than double hat just halfway through the season. It is unbelievable the rate of which games are tying, as that's going to be swung on and missed. Down goes Nick Goodwin. Second time today he's struck out swinging. And that's now 5 strikeouts from Regalado on the night.
The center fielder, number 21, Chris
Yeah,
Newell.
it's going to be tough. Harwich has got to get something going. Regalado, no signs of stopping. Brock Wilkin is on deck, so maybe if Newell can get on, you can get your big bats to string together some power, and that will do it.
And of course, the biggest culprit here for that whole tie number, as that's going to miss. First pitch at 89 miles an hour, a ball to Brock Wilkin. The count is 1-0. It's just the fact that there's no extra innings this season. I mean, naturally, you're going to have a spike in ties when you take away the ultimate tiebreaker, as that's going to be chopped foul. It's 1-1 now. Extras will return for the postseason for the teams that are fortunate enough to make it, because ultimately, of course, when you get to the playoffs, you have to have a winner. Ties aren't going to do a whole lot of good come winning time. It's a 1-1 count. That's going to be popped up down the right field line. That hangs up there for a while, and that's going to land foul. Brock Wilkin, that one a towering shot. Chris Newell. Wilkins on deck. That was a tower of a pop fly out toward right from Newell, as he's 1 for 2 on the night with a single across in his first at bat, I should say.
Had the legs to get out. He just roped it foul. Definitely would have cleared that fence with ease.
The 1-2 is swung on and missed. Down goes Newell. The 6 strikeouts now for Regalado. It's the first strikeout for Newell on the evening. As we head now to the bottom of the 5th inning. Mariners back out on defense when we return. Don't go too far. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Welcome back inside Veterans Field. Tim Foley and Devin Dobick along with you. A 4-1 lead for the Chatham Anglers over the Harwich Mariners, now in the bottom of the 5th inning. The first pitch that's into Guy Garibay Jr. as we're back to the top of the order for the Anglers. Misses for a ball. It's 1-0. The next one comes in. That's a called strike. It's 1-1 from Carlson Reed. He's done a much better job as he's back out here in his 5th inning of work. Being able to find the strike zone, as that one's going to be fanned on and missed 74 miles an hour. Garibay Jr. well ahead of it, as he's now behind in the count, 1-2. Carlson Reed, he has struck out 9 batters so far here tonight. It's been especially impressive what we've seen. Make it number 10. Swing and a miss from Guy Garibay Jr. That'll tie the season high for a Harwich Mariner pitcher with 10 strikeouts. It was Liam Sullivan back in the last game that the Harwich Mariners won, mind you, who struck out 10 batters en route to a Harwich Mariners victory over the Wareham Gatemen back over the bridge at Spillane Field on June 25th. Here's the first pitch to Cooper Engel. That skips in the dirt, and the count opens at 1-0.
He is locked in. He's just got to stay in his groove, keep throwing strikes, and Englert's going to leave him out there as long as the runner doesn't get pretty deep on the base path.
As the next one's going to miss as well, it's now 2-0. And so, Reed, again, he's trying to go about as long as he can. We've mentioned that a few times. His longest outing of the season is 5 innings. He was the first Mariners pitcher to record 5 innings in an outing on the season. As the next pitch is in for a called strike, it's 2-1. And it'd be big for Harwich if they can get Reed to go at least 5 innings here as the 2-1 comes in. That'll be chopped straight down into the earth. And that's going to be a 2-2 count now here, 92 miles an hour. That was fought off at. Harwich this season, whenever their starter goes at least 5 innings, 4-1-2. Of course, they're in a 4-1 hole right now, as that's going to miss up high. And it's now a full count. Doesn't speak too much of the offensive prowess in those games, but it at least says that whenever you're able to get a starter deep, the defense has been able to lock it down to some extent. Again, they did allow a 4 spot in the first, but it's been rather solid since then. The 3-2 count is fouled off. We'll do it again. The payoff pitch to come in a moment here. Engel on the day, he is 0 for 1. Walked and came all the way around back in the first inning and then grounded out to second back in the second. The 3-2 skips in the dirt well before Engel, and he will advance down over to first base. That is now going to be the 3rd walk of the evening from Carlson Reed, as that's going to force a conversation on the mound. Tatum Levens will go out to have a talk with Reed, but it will just be Levens. Nobody else for the time being.
Just his 3rd walk of the ball game. He's now the lone member of the team high in walks with 12. Billy Seidel had 12 too, but he was deactivated today to prepare for the draft, so Reed will hold that. But you'll take that when a guy's giving you 10 strikeouts in a ball game.
Yeah, certainly so. I mean, yes, you mentioned it. Billy Seidel, I should say, just deactivated, as now Coach Englert's going to step onto the field. He will head on to the mound, and the day is to be done for Carlson Reed. We will take a moment. We'll step aside. We will introduce the new pitcher and recap the day for Carlson Reed on the other side of the break. In the meantime, don't go too far. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube Network.
number 31, Caden Grice.
Welcome back inside Veterans Field. Tim Foley and Devin Dobick along with you. It is the bottom of the 5th inning. We've just completed a pitching change here from Chatham. The day is done for Carlson Reed. He pitched 4 1/3 innings, allowed 4 hits, walked 3 batters, but struck out what was a tie for the ball club high, 10 batters on his night. As the first pitch into Caden Grice is swung on and missed. Gage Zeal, the righty out of Miami, is the new pitcher on the mound for the Harwich Mariners. Zeal on the season, a 1-0 record, ERA sitting at about 168. It's his 4th appearance. He's pitched just 5 1/3. He's struck out 6 batters to just 1 walk. He has allowed 5 hits. As the next pitch gets away from Levens, he does not know where it is, and that's going to be an easy 90 feet for Cooper Engel, who even briefly thought about heading for third. He took a wide turn around that second base bag because it took Levens a long time to find that ball. It's a 1-1 count here to Grice, who on the day is 1 for 2, singled back in the first inning and came all the way around, and he struck out swinging to open up the 3rd inning. So, I mean, for Reed to talk about his day here for a bit, as Zeal stares in, obviously an unideal first inning. Yes, he struck out the first 3, he struck out the 3 outs that were recorded in that inning, as the 1-1 swung on and missed by Grice, but let up a leadoff home run, let off a bases loaded, bases clearing triple, but then was able to settle in nicely.
He did. Just 2 runners reach base after that sloppy first inning, so he was able to kind of find a rhythm and settle in. Only went 4 1/3, and his team still trails, but at the end of the day and the way the outing was forecasted after that first inning, you got to be happy with how he finished.
1-2 pitches, fanned on and missed. So that will retire Caden Grice. 2 gone now in the inning as Gage Zeal is able to record the first strikeout for himself. That will put him up now to 7 on the season. Zeal. This brings up Noah Ledford. Ledford on the night, he is 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. This is a Chatham lineup that absolutely loves to strike out. I'm not sure that they would say they love to strike out, but they do. And so it's 201 strikeouts coming into tonight. That's the league high. And then you factor in the fact that they've struck out 11 times here tonight. They're now up to 212 on the season. They really, I mean, you talk about how Harwich is aggressive at the plate. It's an 0-1 count here to the batter in Noah Ledford. Harwich, by the way, 189 strikeouts on the season. That's 5th most coming into tonight. The 0-1's going to be hit. Little chopper over to Joe Vitrano. He'll scoop it up, tag the first base bag, and end the inning. The Harwich Mariners are able to get out of the inning. They strike out 2 as Gage Zeal comes in and retires the first 2 batters he faces. We'll head to the top of the 6th inning. Mariners still down by 3. It's a 4-1 lead for the Chatham Anglers. When we return, we'll be back in just a minute. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube Network. We welcome you back inside Veterans Field as there's a new pitcher on the mound for the Chatham Anglers. The day is done for Nicholas Regalado. He went 5 complete, his longest outing of the season. Allowed 4 hits, 1 earned run, walked 2 batters, and struck out 6. An impressive day from Regalado on the mound, Devin.
Yeah, he was fantastic. I mean, not much more you can ask for. He takes a 3-run lead, lined up for the win. Got to be thrilled with that. This Chatham team could really use a win against Harwich. Would put them in great spot for playoff implications.
As Brock Wilkins going to take the first pitch down low for a ball. It's a 1-0 count. So the new pitcher on the mound is Carlos Ray. Ray, the lefty, who is transferring to Abilene Christian, a junior out of Nova Southeastern. It's a 2-0 count here to Brock Wilkin. Nova Southeastern this past season pitched 51 in the 3rd innings with just an ERA of 1.40, 76 strikeouts to just 27 walks. He had a nice season, increased his innings throughout the season as it went along. Across his first 7 appearances, never had more than 3 innings pitched. Then his last 7 appearances, there was only 1 appearance in which he had less than 3 innings of work. So he was really able to work his innings, and so we'll see what the Anglers are able to get out of him here as Brock Wilkin rockets the 1-1 pitch right back up into center field. A liner into center. So Wilkin, back-to-back hits for him as he's now 2 for 3 on the day, and he is in full form after returning from Team USA.
Yeah, it's really awesome to see him getting going here. It was just hitting .220 returning. He's already got 2 hits here tonight. One of them a home run, his 2nd of the season. So if he's able to build off this, Harwich could really use some offense down the stretch.
So Ray stares in. Wilkin over at first. The man up to bat now is Joe Vitrano. He'll take a first pitch ball as the count opens at 1-0. Vitrano on the night. He's grounded out to the infield twice. Grounded to short his first go around and grounded out to second thereafter. It's a 1-0 count to him. He'll take the next pitch outside, and so it's a 2-0 count now.
Vitrano, nice job getting ahead. Swung at the first pitch in his last at-bat. Rolled it over to second base. He's already taken 2 pitches here. He's got the count on his side. Now he's got to find one he can hit, can be selective, has given himself the luxury of that. We'll see what he can do with that.
It's a 2-0 count. Here's the pitch. You'll watch that one miss up high, and the count is now 3-0. Ray, again, he was not much of a walk guy back over at Nova Southeastern. This season with the Anglers, he's walked 3 batters across 4 2/3. As here's the 3-0. That misses down in the dirt. Easy take for Joe Vitrano, who now trots down to first base. That will usher Brock Wilkin down to second as the Mariners are in business here. Runners on first and second, and the tying run, and Graham Pauly now up to bat. 1 for 2 on the day.
How about this? As you mentioned it, Tim, tying run coming up. Graham Pauly's been swinging a hot bat, had a single back in the 4th. I'll be interested to see if they elect to drop a bunt with nobody down, although Pauly's been swinging it great, and you got the bottom of the order coming up. You need runs any way you can get them.
Certainly don't want to save it all for the final inning of play, so if you can get anything here, you take it. As that misses up high. No, it's going to find the zone. It was a high pitch, but strike 1, so says home plate umpire Brandon Johnson. And so Ray ahead in the count, 0-1. Pauly digs back in, as does Ray. Stares in. Ray holds the glove about head height, drops it down to his waist, looks back at second, and comes home. That'll be hit on the ground right side. A chopper picked up by Riggio. Throw on to first is in time, 1 gone.
Did his job, moved the runners over. Nice play by Riggio to get at least the 1 out. It was a high chopper. Sometimes those turn into bad infield hits, but Pauly does his part. Now the switch hitter, David Smith's got a chance to chip away at that differential.
Smith stepping in as a righty now, as he's facing off against the lefty in Carlos Ray. Smith on the night. Again, he came into this ballgame not expecting to play tonight, or at least not perhaps that early as he did, as he goes around on the first offering from Ray. He falls behind 0-1 in the count. Kenny Lavari had a freak injury back in the bottom of the first inning, before his first at-bat would have come in the top of the second, was taken out of the game, and David Smith was subbed in swiftly thereafter. Moved into second while Paulie shifted over to third. The next pitch, it makes it a 1-1 count as Smith stares in once again, or stands in. Ray looks home, and the pitch. That'll be cut back foul, hits the netting behind home plate, and the count is now 1-2.
Nice job to get ahead here for Ray. If he can get a strikeout of David Smith, that would be huge. Get those runners stay put, keep your team with a 3-run lead heading into the late innings.
David Smith, he is riding a bit of a streak coming into tonight on a 4-game on-base streak, as that one's going to miss, and the count runs to 2-2. So Smith, he's already extended that, having gotten on twice already here tonight, so make it now a 5-game on-base streak. Joe Vitrano, similarly enough, was able to extend his 7-game on-base streak in this half inning. With the walk, he was able to draw. Nick Goodwin also able to extend his, as was Graham Paulie. So the Mariners streaking a bit here, as the next pitch is going to be foul tip back into the mid of Hayden Travinski, and that's going to be the first strikeout for Carlos Ray, as Ray is now an out away from getting out of the inning, with runners still on second and third here for the Mariners.
And if you get 2 on with nobody out, stop me if you've heard this before, but you got to find a way to push him around. Harwich has really struggled with situational hitting. Someone's just got to put a bat in a ball. You need that from David Smith there. He goes down swinging. It's not going to work.
As the first pitch into Tatum Levens, misses inside for a ball. As the Mariners this season, whenever they get runners in scoring position as a whole, batting 176. 36 RBI in these spots on the season. Sounds like a high total, but again, when you're batting just 176, as it's a 1-1 count now here to Tatum Levens, you're leaving a lot on the plate. Again, we mentioned it. Harwich left 14 runners on the other night against Brewster. That was a season high for any team this season. As Levens steps back out, calls time. It's still a 1-1 count here. Ray stares in. Here's the pitch. That's going to miss outside, and the count is 2-1. Levens so far tonight, he's 0 for 1. Struck out looking back in the second inning and walked back in the fourth. Here's the 2-1 pitch. That's going to miss as well, right outside, and so the count will move to 3-1. Ray, he's already walked a batter here tonight. That was Joe Vitrano, who stands on second. Also allowed a single over to Brock Wilkin, who stands on third. He did strike out David Smith, but he's not in a spot where he can strike out Levens here. It's a 3-1 count. The pitch. Swing and a miss, and perhaps now he's going to look for that put-away pitch. It's a full count coming up with 2 gone. Top of the 6th inning. Mariners trying to get this one back to within less than 3 runs. If they can scratch one across here, it's a 3-run lead for the Anglers. Top of the 6th inning. Levens is going to call for time, try to break the tension here, as it's a full count, 2 away. Runners on second and third. Will Hammonders on deck, 0 for 2 on the day, should he see home plate in this inning. 3-2 pitch is going to be flared out toward left center field. That's going to be caught. Guy Garibay Jr. strides into the alley in left center and comes down with it. The Mariners leave 2 stranded. They've now left a total of 7 stranded on the night across their first 6 innings here. We'll be back with the bottom of the 6th inning of the Chatham Anglers bats when we return. In the meantime, you're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. We bring you back to Veterans Field. Tim Foley and Devin Dobick along with you as it's going to be the 5, 6, 7 hitters due up in this inning for the Anglers. Lyle Miller Green, the right fielder, leads it off for Chatham. We will also see Marcus Brown and Rock Riggio in this half inning of play. As back out there on the mound, his first full inning of work is going to be Gage Zeal. Zeal, in his first inning of work, was able to retire the first 2 batters that he faced. Struck out Caden Grice swinging, and then was able to get Noah Ledford to ground out to first. As it's an 0-1 count, here's the pitch. That's also going to find the outside part of the plate, and the count is now 0-2.
Good job to get ahead of your Gage Zeal. Try and set him down in order. Your offense had something going, but we're unable to capitalize. Maybe they can get it going in the late innings.
They're going to have to, as that one's going to be in there for called strike 3. Down goes Lyle Miller Green. Second strikeout for Gage Zeal. But as I was saying, they're going to have to figure it out, lest they want to hand Chatham their first victory in over a week, and lest they want to be sent to their, what would be their 9th consecutive non-win. Mariners are 0-5-3 across their past 8 games. It's been a long stretch, as that's going to miss outside, and the count is now 1-0. And you would draw even with Chatham in points, or I should say they would draw even with you, as it's a 1-0 count. As Zeal throws the next one in, 86 miles an hour. Zeal on the pitch prior hit 98 on the radar. He can really turn up the heat. I mean, that's what happens. You get a Miami guy. He's used to excellent weather, and so he's been conditioned to throw some heavy heat, as that's going to be hit on the ground right side. Smith picks it up, throws on to first, and there's 2 gone.
Yeah, pumping the gun. That might be the fastest pitch we've seen all season. I haven't seen faster than 97, and I think that was against us. I think Hyannis had a reliever that threw 97, but 98 for Gage Zeal. That's pretty impressive stuff.
We are yet to see triple digits this season. We know there are a few guys capable. Eric Razelman, tomorrow's starter for the Mariners, he's capable. That'll be a 6:30 first pitch at home. That's going to be hit on the ground right side on the first pitch by Rock Riggio. Grounder over to Vetrano. He picks it up, steps on first, and ends the inning. A quick 1-2-3. The Mariners are able to sit down the Anglers just like that. We head to the top of the 7th inning. The Harwich Mariners are back up to bat when we return. They're down by 3 here from Veterans Field, looking to make a comeback late in this one. We'll be back on the other side with more Harwich Mariners baseball. In the meantime, don't go too far. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. We welcome you back to Veterans Field. Tim Foley and Devin Dobick along with you. It's a 4-1 lead for the Chatham Anglers as the Mariners are up to bat. For play-by-play duties the rest of the way, my broadcast partner, Devin Dobick. Devin.
Thank you, Tim. Mariners climbing back in. They have out-hit the Anglers 5-4 on the day, but still nothing doing as far as run support as they trail by 3. Back out there for the Chatham A's is going to be Ray. Had a solid first inning of work, struck out one. Was able to strand a couple, which was the big key for him after Wilkin and Vetrano were able to get on with nobody out. He was able to work through it. And now he's got the 9-hitter here in the 7th with Will Hammeter. A 1 offering is chopped right back to Ray. He's got to field it. Tough play. The throw is in time. Hammeter is retired. A nice play made by Ray, helping himself out, and there's one down here in the 7th.
Yeah, that was a close one. Right at the bag was Hammeter as that throw was delivered onto the base. And so for Ray, he's able to get there just in time, and he's off to a better start this inning than he was last.
Brings up Press Kavanaugh for the 4th time. He is 0 for 3. He struck out looking, flied out to right, and grounded out to shortstop. And just taking a look down the stretch of things with playoffs, if Chatham's able to hold on here, they will be 2-0-1 against the Mariners. So that would mean in the 3 remaining matchups between these two teams, Harwich would have to win all 3 to have the tie break over them come playoff time. If Chatham is able to win this game, they will leapfrog Harwich, and Harwich will be in the basement. Chatham will be in 4th place for the first time in many, many weeks as Kavanaugh fouls this one back to start the at-bat. It's 0-1.
Yeah, and you know, I think the biggest thing you have to keep in mind at this point in the season still if you're Harwich, it's a quick season, yes, but you know, you still control your own fate by every means in regards to making the playoffs. You're not at all down to a situation where you need to rely on teams to start losing for you to have a chance to make the playoffs. If you're able to settle into a good rhythm of baseball, then you'll stand a chance come the end of July.
0-2 is cut on and missed. Press Kavanaugh, good morning, good afternoon, and good night. He goes down swinging. Second out of the inning, second strikeout for Ray. 2 away.
Yeah, I mean, he's looked much better. That's now 5 retired by Ray. Across his now inning in 2/3.
So now comes Nick Goodwin. He has one of the 5 hits for the Mariners tonight, but they were unable to move him over from first base. That was all the way back in the 3rd inning. And the pitch to Goodwin now is in there for a strike, and he's behind in the count 0-1. Just 9 total hits in this ball game. 5 runs between the two. It's been very quiet. Have had no offense for Harwich since Brock's homer in the 4th, and no offense for Chatham since that first inning in which they were able to really get going there, thanks to a leadoff home run from Garibay Jr. and a bases clearing triple off the bat of Rock Riggio.
Yeah, I mean, it's just been like clockwork. Harwich allowing runs early, falling behind early, and then struggling to come from behind.
They have never won a game when trailing after 7 innings. They're trying to hang up a crooked number with 1 out left, or else that will prove to possibly true if the sample size has said anything. As that one misses, it's 2-1 to Nick Goodwin. Newell on deck, followed by Wilkins. So some power coming up. They'd like to get it right now and piece together a rally. As that one maybe got a piece of Goodwin? No. He just got out of the way, went off the mitt. Appears to be okay, which is good news. Yeah, situational baseball. Said it a million times before, but that's been the death. I mean, even in the tie with Brewster, Harwich stranded, I believe the base is loaded, Tim. Everybody nowhere to put him and just couldn't get him in, as that one misses up high. And that will be ball 4. Nick Goodwin's able to draw a walk with 2 outs here, and Chris Newell coming up.
Left him loaded twice against Brewster. Once in the 2nd and then once in the bottom of the 9th inning. Got the bases loaded with only 1 gone, too. Sac fly would have done it.
I believe Kenny Lavari punched out there, and we saw David Smith punch out with the runners on 2nd and 3rd here tonight. So just a couple examples in the last 2 ball games of how Harwich has just been unable to capitalize, even with insurance. You just got to put it in play. They've been unable to do that as Newell flies this one off to the left. It will get out of play, and it's 0-1. Newell on the season, hitting .296 coming into today. He's brought that up a few points to .300. 1 for 3 on the evening. Had a single all the way back in the first inning. Pair of home runs for him as well. As it's now pickoff attempt not successful. Back in there is Goodwin. Here comes the 0-1 pitch, and that's swung on and missed to make it 0-2. Chris Newell is down in the count.
Yeah, you're going to have to get defensive here. You cannot let these innings go quietly. You get a man on. Yes, there's 2 gone, but you have to make some use of it.
So here you go. 0-2 offering to Newell. That got a piece of him. So Chris Newell fires the bat in frustration. That one didn't feel good, but he's done his job, sacrificed the body to get the tying run to the plate in Brock Wilkin.
The designated hitter, number 25, Brock Wilkin.
So how about that? Tying run comes up now as it looked like we were going to see Ray cruise through this inning. Now the one guy who has shown any signs of offense for Harwich, Brock Wilkin, who already has a solo home run, has a chance for more damage. 2 for 3 on the day for Brock. First pitch from Ray. Checked his swing, but yes, he did. Breaking ball fooled him. He lunged out in front of it. Couldn't hold up. It's 0-1. Brock takes a deep breath, digs back into the right-hand side. Ray trying to finish this inning with his team still up 3. Takes a look over at second. And the pitch. In there at the letters, and now Wilkin on the ropes. He's down in the count 0-2. Newell's on first, still nursing that place where he was hit by the pitch. Right in an awkward spot in the arm. Goodwin's at second. Wilkin at the plate trying to move him over. 0-2. Runs inside. Brock had to do some dancing to get out of the way of that one, and it's 1-2.
Yeah, not ideal. You find yourself down in the count quickly here if you're Wilkin, but try to take a few pitches, extend this at bat, see what you can find. See if you can't get a hold of one here and get your team back into it.
Here comes the 1-2 offering. Breaking ball up high. Close pitch, but didn't snap in time, and Wilkins stays alive. The Deuces are wild, 2-2 with 2 outs. On deck, Joe Vetrano. Wilkin trying to get him to the plate and extend this inning. It's 3-2 as that one misses up and away, and now the runners will be on the move, Tim.
Yes, certainly will here. Big spot. Again, you can't let this opportunity pass you by. You've been able to work the count full after what's been the busiest inning so far here for Ray. Gotta capitalize here if you're Wilkin.
Ray into his set. Biggest pitch of the ball game coming up. Here it is. Wilkin swings and misses. Goes down. Took him down to a knee with the off speed at 83. A big strikeout for Ray. Time to stretch here at Veterans Field. We'll take a quick break and be back on the other side. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube Network. So Gage Zeal back out there for his third inning of work after he came in the bottom of the fourth for Carlson Reed, now in there for the seventh. He's gone an inning and 2/3 thus far. As here comes the 0-1 offering to the batter in Hayden Travinsky. It's 0-2, swung on and missed. Zeal has already got a pair of strikeouts on the night. Has not a lot of hit or walk, so been locked in through the 5 batters he's faced. The pitch just misses the outside corner, make it 1-2.
Yeah, I mean, he just attacks guys. He'll go right after the strike zone each and every time. Of course, just missed outside then of the 0-2. Tried to get him to bite, but I expect him to come back here and just try to put away Travinsky.
The pitch. Got him on the outside corner looking. Gage Zeal ring him up, as that will be out number 1 to start things in the bottom of the 7th.
Yeah, 94 miles an hour. That's the third time he's opened up an inning with a strikeout. Of course, came in the middle of that 5th inning with the very first batter he faced was a strikeout. So he's done a really nice job setting the tone early in these innings that he's pitching, and he's just continued to look great in a Mariners uniform.
Johnny Castagnazzi will climb in. He watches ball 1 in the dirt. On the day, Johnny is 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. Trying to end that narrative. As here comes the 1-0 pitch. Sealing his windup, and it will miss once again, 2-0. Castagnazzi from North Carolina, teammate of Hunter Stokely. Mariners first baseman who has the night off tonight. As right through that one goes Castagnazzi, and it's 2-1. He had 10 home runs and 30 RBI for the Tar Heels this season. Had the 8th best on base percentage at 367. Fantastic number there. And that one will also find its way into the zone, make it 2-2. It came in at 68, it said. I think the radar must be off. We've seen some incredible highs and lows.
I believe the highs in a lot of these instances, but the lows, I'm not quite sure.
It's been inconsistent to say the least, as the 2-2 misses outside, make it 3-2. Castagnazzi trying to get something going here with 1 out. His team clinging to a 3-run lead and wanting some insurance for the bullpen. He goes down swinging. Gage Zeal with a big pitch to record the out. Down goes Castagnazzi for the 3rd time today.
And he put some cheese on it too at 94, sails it in there, just really working smoothly here. Has not allowed anybody to get on across his now 2 1/3 innings pitched.
In comes Guy Garibay Jr. He homered to start the game, but since then struck out a couple times. See what he can do here. He's behind in the count, 0-1 to Gage Zeal. Gage trying to record a strikeout of the side, as this one is punched into left field. Coming in and making the catch is Press Kavanaugh. A 1-2-3 7th. We go to the 8th. Mariners coming up looking for offense. We'll take a quick break and be right back. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Joe Vetrano, Graham Pauley, and David Smith due up for the Mariners. They trail by 3 and running out of time to make up those runs. Just 6 outs to work with here on a beautiful night in Chatham. We just crossed 9 o'clock Eastern time. As Joe Vetrano almost got a chance to bat last inning, but Brock Wilkin struck out with a full count and runners were stranded. A couple runners were stranded. Joe Vetrano never got the opportunity. No balls and a strike. And this one is chopped to make it 0-2.
Yeah, Vetrano, I think he got a piece of himself with that one. It wouldn't be the first time, too. Back in Brewster, back on the 3rd of July. Took a heavy foul ball off of his ankle. He was in some pain.
Brought the Giant down. And I can't blame it. I mean, it was right in the side of the leg. Part where not much meat to block it. 0-2 now. Crowd getting into it. They're looking for a strikeout. Chatham searching for their 6th win of the season. They would have the same exact record as the Mariners if they are able to do that here. Clap dies out. Joe Vetrano stalling.
There's a whole lot of hoopla for nothing.
0-2 misses outside. 1-2. Ray back out there. Gotta hand it to him. He's been a workhorse. Powered through a few jams he's gotten himself in. He's gone 2 complete, walked a couple, allowed just the 1 hit, 3 strikeouts. That one runs inside. Vetrano has to dive out of the way, and it's 2-2 now.
Yeah, just the Mariners have just been letting him get away with too much. I mean, he's allowed a walk in each of his 2 innings so far. He allowed a single in the 6th. He hit a guy in the 7th. But twice the Mariners have left 2 on. 3 in scoring position with Ray on the mound.
2 balls, 2 strikes, and it's chopped off to the left and way out of play. That one said it came in at 67 miles per hour.
Talk about an eephus pitch.
Yeah, I think there's definitely something going on. These lows are a little fishy. 2-2. Swung on a miss. Vetrano goes down swinging. Another strikeout for this staff. The 10th Mariner that's gone down by way of the K, and there's 1 away in the 8th.
The third baseman,
Yeah, Ray able to come back and just blow by him up high. You know, Harwich has had a tough time laying off of pitches here tonight. And yet another one bites the dust here for the Mariners. Season high for strikeouts in a game for the Mariners is 12. They're 2 off that mark. And it was against Chatham the last time these 2 teams faced off back on Saturday the 2nd.
0-1 to Graham Pauley. He's 1 for 3 on the evening. As it's quickly 0-2, he's in the hole. 92 miles an hour on that fastball. Clapp has come back to life here with 2 strikes, and the pitch just misses outside, and it will be 1-2. Some defensive changes. Jake DeLeo is in center, and Caden Grice moves over to first base. Noah Ledford will take a seat on the bench. 1-2. Misses outside to make it 2-2. Graham Pauley trying to extend his at-bat. Smoke from the concession stand flying into the air here in Chatham. Great vibe at the ballpark tonight. A lot of people. I mean a lot. As Pauley flips this one into shallow left field. Garibay Jr. coming in, and he's got it on the run for out number 2.
Yeah, they eventually do dollar dogs here. I'm not quite sure when exactly that is, but you have to send our hot dog liaison, Chris Cassidy, when the time comes.
So we'll see when that happens. But David Smith up with 2 outs here in the 8th. He's trying to get this rally started for Harwich. And that's ball 1 up high. Smith on the day. He is 0 for 2. He has walked, reached on a fielder's choice as well, and struck out. He's up in the count now 2-0. Favorable count for him. All other games in the Cape Cod Baseball League have concluded. All under 3 hours, too. Smith Swings and misses that one, 2-1. Katuitt and Brewster tied 1-1. Bourne and Hyannis tied 1-1. Yarmouth, Dennis beat Falmouth 3-2. And Orleans lost to Wareham 1-0. So some low-scoring baseball going on in the Cape Cod Baseball League. The most runs that have been scored tonight are 5 between YD and Falmouth, and of course here 4-1 Chatham.
There you have it, 2 more ties. That eclipses last year's season high of 17 ties. 18 now across the league, across the halfway mark.
3-2, let's go Anglers, the chant. Smith climbs back into the box, followed by Tatum Levens on deck. 3-2. Checked his swing. Yes, he did, says the home plate umpire Brandon Johnson. That will do it. 1-2-3, go the Mariners. Ray mowing them down. We'll take a quick break, bringing you the home half of the 8th. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. So we head to the bottom of the 8th. It'll be Engel, Grice, and the new batter, Jack DeLeo, set to come up as first pitch in there for a strike. And back out there is Gage Zeal. So he's working as long as he can. Mariners just looking for him to eat innings. They have one more plate appearance, 3 more outs to work with to come up with 3 runs. Offense has not been their friend. Zeal on the season, or excuse me, on the night has 4 strikeouts, has not allowed a hit. He's been fantastic, gets the check swing there. And count will be 1-2 now to Engel. Engel has walked and scored, grounded out to second and walked again. He's hitting .250 on this season. Doesn't have one here, but he's found his way on in whatever ways he can. Here comes the 1-2 pitch from Zeal. Chopped foul. Nice job to stay alive. Levens got hit again. He's slow to his feet. Everybody banged up on these Mariners tonight. They'll walk it off. Umpire Brandon Johnson will buy him some time. So we stay at 1-2.
Yeah, and Levens, a guy who's getting ready to try to hear his name called for the MLB draft. A couple of Mariners hoping their name will be called. Eric Razelman, Chris Newell, Billy Seidel, Levens, of course.
Should be all fun to disclose in the coming weeks, but for now the 1-2 is shot back up towards the box here. And we'll stay at 1-2 again. 94 from Gage Zeal on that pitch. Really trying to put these hitters away. He's done messing around. These Mariners are sick of losing, especially when they surrender the lead early in the ball game and then play pretty sound for the rest of the entirety. As another one fouled off. Nice at bat put together here by Cooper Engel, making Gage Zeal work. There is no activity in the Harwich bullpen other than great stimulating conversation with teammates. But 1-2 now. Gage Zeal looking for his 5th punch out of the ball game. No outs here, bottom 8. The pitch. This is punched into center field. In comes Chris Newell. He's not going to get there. He's able to pick it. Could have been trouble, but it'll be a single to start off the bottom of the 8th for Cooper Engel. He's on base for the 3rd time tonight.
Now batting for Chatham.
To your point, Devin, what you were just saying, you think back to the 4th of July game against Brewster. You allow that run back in the 1st inning against the Whitecaps, in which Alex Freeland was able to come home after getting on with a walk. And it would be 2 straight games, say Harwich is able to keep Chatham off the board here theoretically, where the only runs you allow come in that 1st inning. It was then nothing but shutout baseball from the Mariners thereafter back on the 4th, and that's what it's been here today ever since the 1st inning. Of course, Chatham threatening with a man on right now, but just have not been able to put together a comeback effort here this season.
It's just been like that the entire season, though. I mean, they haven't scored first in more than 5 games this season, so always playing catch-up. 16 of those games, they've started the game from behind. They have 4 wins in that time, but not a great percentage at just 25%. And they have 6 wins on the entire season. 0-2 now to the batter, Caden Grice. He's struck out twice, also singled and scored, and fired a bat into the crowd for that matter. The pitch. Thought about it, leaves off it, and it will be 1-2 up high.
And, you know, for Harwich defensively, this is just the 2nd inning all game in which they've allowed the leadoff man to get on. It's just that 1st inning. The leadoff man and Garibay Jr., and, well, he wasn't on for very long. In fact, just made a brief trip around the base paths.
1-2 pitch coming from Zeal. He kicks and delivers. That one got a piece of Grice. Bit of an interesting sequence there. Looked like he checked his swing and got a piece of him. He trots down to first base. It'll be a hit batsman, and now 2 on with nobody away for the Anglers.
Yeah, he started to go around, but it ultimately got a piece of him. Right about the hands, too. You wonder if he goes into the motion or not, if he actually ends up getting hit either way. But nonetheless, men on 1st and 2nd now, nobody gone, and Chatham, first real threat, I'd say, the Mariners have faced since that 1st inning. I mean, Chatham has failed to get a man on in most of the innings since then. They've only gotten 1 on in 2 separate innings. That was back in the 3rd and the 5th. Other than that, they've been sat down 1, 2, 3, 4 times here tonight.
It has been a funky game, to say the least. We thought we were going to have an offensive slugfest, but we've had just 1 run scored since the 1st inning. And Harwich trails by 3. They're on the verge of yet another loss as a bunt is dropped down there, but it goes foul. And it's now 0-1 to the hitter and Jake DeLeo. He was subbed in for Noah Ledford, who went 0 for 3, struck out twice, grounded out to first. Or excuse me, he struck out, yes, I got that right. Looking at so many different lines here. 0-1 to DeLeo. 2 on for him, no outs. See if he squares around again. He does, and he rips one over to second. Smith fields it, goes to short for 1. Goodwin's throw on to first is in time. A 4-6-3 double play, just what the doctor ordered if you're Gage Zeal. He gets 2 down. The runner in Cooper Engel does get down to 3rd, but now much more manageable to get out of the inning with no harm done.
Yeah, Engel being on 3rd becomes rather inconsequential when your Gage Zeal, and all you have to do is deal with the one man in the box right now, something he's done a really nice job of. Again, he's just allowed the one hit so far here tonight across his outing here for Harwich, and so if he's able to settle in and get one more down, then man on third really amounts to nothing.
Strike one to Lyle Miller Green, who has walked in, scored, singled, swiped a bag, and struck out looking. He's put together a nice game here out of the 5 spot. We'll see what he can do against Zeal here in the 8th as he swings and misses through that one. 94 once again from Zeal. It's 0-2.
Yeah, he's hunting for something here, but Zeal is just not letting him find any of it. I mean, really nice fastball up high to be able to get him to swing.
Zeal's season high for pitches is 33. He's already up to 40 here in his outing. Season high for innings is 2. He's up to 3 1/3. He's been fantastic, but Harwich's offense is going to have to help him out if they want that to be a meaningful outing, as it's 1-2 now, bounced in the dirt. Season high in strikeouts is 4. He's matched that here tonight. And he strikes out another man, number 5, a season high for him. Season high in innings, strikeouts, and pitches. Gage Zeal is out of it. We head to the 9th inning. It's time for some magic if you're the Mariners. We'll take a quick break and be back on the other side. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Top of the 9th inning, and it'll be 8-9 top for the Harwich Mariners. Tatum Levens, Will Hamter, Press Kavanaugh. 3 lefties due up against the lefty. And Ray, who is back out there looking to slam the door shut and earn Chatham its 6th victory of the season. First pitch to Levens is bounced in the dirt for ball 1. $1 hot dogs has just been announced. Bottom 9. How about that?
That is a Veterans Field classic. Peter Burns informing the crowd here tonight.
This one once again gets by the catcher in Travinsky, 2-0. Levens almost had a flare single that would have drived in a run or 2. That was back in the 6th inning. Ended up being a flyout. He's also walked and struck out looking. Mariners are leaning to him to try and spike a little rally. It's 3-0. He's way up in the count. Levens doing the catching tonight. He's been splitting with Gassetti as that will miss. It catches the top of the zone. A close call there. Doesn't go in the favor of Levens. There's been a couple pitches he really has not liked. 3-1. Just misses. That one looked closer than the previous one, if you ask me. But Tatum Levens earns his 2nd walk of the ball game. He's on base to start the 9th inning.
Yeah, you take it any way you can get it if you're Harwich at this point. Not all too often has the leadoff man gotten on here tonight. Just 2 times it's happened here. So now the 3rd time as timing here for Tommy Seidel to come into the game.
So here's Tommy Seidel, and he's been eager to get back in this box as he donned the golden sombrero in the loss on the 4th, or the tie on the 4th of July against Brewster. 4 strikeouts. First pitch to him on the inside corner for strike 1.
Yeah, and you know the idea here, obviously, he's going to hope to not have back-to-back poor outings. Granted, it's just the one at bat here, so it wouldn't be the largest sample size. I mean, nonetheless, this is who exactly you want to have up to bat in a spot like this. A guy who hasn't been in the lineup today, as he'll take a called strike now, 91 miles an hour. You need someone to bail you out, play hero here tonight to some extent, as much as you can. And so Seidel up with nobody out and a man on first is going to try to do all that he can to keep this inning going here for Harwich.
It's quickly 0-2 on him. He calls time, and it's granted. Big spot for him. If he can get on, tying run would be on deck and the top of your order. You'd love to dive into them. Here's the 0-2 offering. Checked his swing. Yes, he did, says Johnson, and that's 5 straight strikeouts for Tommy Seidel. He's going to head back to the dugout, 1 away.
Yeah, pitched down in the dirt, 83 miles an hour. Tried to lay off of it, just could not hold up. And there's 1 gone.
And the pitches in the dirt, he's been loving to reach out and try and poke them. Opposing pitchers have made him look foolish, but can't help himself. In a bit of a slump here as Press Kavanaugh swings and misses at that one for strike 1.
And I'm a little disheartened right now. Johnny Deppen, our team writer, who I sent so graciously to go and get a hot dog for me, has come back with my dollar bill in tow.
As Press Kavanaugh sends one all the way back over our booth here, and it's 0-2. It was a good effort from Johnny, but
it's like you gotta be there.
Time.
You gotta be parked there, ready and waiting to receive your dollar dog.
0-2, and that one got Press Kavanaugh. Hit him on the back, and it'll be first and second. Mariners get bailed out on an 0-2 count. Looked very not great for Press Kavanaugh, but he's now on and brings the tying run to the plate in Nick Goodwin.
I mean, how many times have we said this today already? You get guys on with only minimal outs in the inning. You can't let this opportunity pass you by. And so Harwich now with 2 men on. They've left 2 men stranded 3 times already here tonight. Down to your final 2 outs now. Certainly need to finally be able to find some situational hitting that has evaded you these past couple of games.
So that'll be the night for Ray. He's responsible for the 2 men on. We get a call to the bullpen. We'll give you Ray's line and the new wing when we return. In the meantime, you're listening to the Cape Cod Baseball League on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Carlos Rey's night is over. He went 3 1/3, walked 3, struck out 6, and allowed just the 1 hit. He's responsible for the 2 men on base. Press Kavanaugh's at first. And over down at second is Tatum Levens. Tying run comes to the plate in Nick Goodwin. Call to the bullpen. It's going to be another Florida Southwestern product. Brian Holliday, the righty, at Florida Southwestern, went 52 2/3, 20 appearances, a 1.20 ERA, 74 strikeouts, just 15 walks, and 5 saves. He's got a save for the Chatham Anglers. That came back on June 20th, trying to pick up another one here. As this pitch over the plate once again to Nick Goodwin. He's quickly down 0-2. Goodwin has struck out twice today. He's also singled and walked, reached base twice. Trying to make it 3 times now when his team needs it most. The pitch. It's lined into left field. Over to third goes Levens. Down to second goes Kavanaugh. Nick Goodwin checks in, the 6th hit of the ball game for the Mariners, and they're all loaded up now for Chris Newell.
Yeah, and another guy here coming up in Newell, who's one of the more ideal batters to come up for you if you're Harwich. Newell, he's been swinging an excellent bat recently for Harwich. When you look at what he's doing across his past 5 games, he's batting .333, 6 of 18, 4 runs scored, and 1 RBI. As the first pitch comes in for a strike. Chance here certainly to add on, and we'll see just exactly how he's going to be able to handle man on the mound in Holliday.
Holliday's fastball between 92 and 94. He's got a nasty curveball too, just about 18 miles per hour slower, 75 to 77. It's 0-2 quickly to Chris Newell, who on the day has gotten on twice, been hit by a pitch in his most recent at-bat. That was back in the 7th. Singled way back in the 1st to go along with a strikeout and a ground out. This one gets way by the catcher. Levens coming to the plate. He's going to score on the dive. No throw. Everybody moves up a station. It's now 2nd and 3rd. Mariners trail by 2 now.
This is what you do in late game situations. You apply pressure and you keep your foot on the gas pedal. Harwich here jumping at the chance to send the runners around, and they're able to move the tying run now up to 2nd.
1-2, breaking ball just misses, make it 2-2. Wow, what a ball game. As it's coming down all the way to the last inning, Brock Wilkins stands on deck, and with that double play out of effect, it's more than likely that we will see him. This one bounces to the dirt again. It gets by the catcher. The play at the plate. Kavanaugh slides in. It's 4-3. How about that? Mariners base running, able to steal 2 away. Holliday comes in, guns a-blazing. 2 pitches get by the catcher and Travinsky. And now all you need is a sac fly from Newell to tie the ball game.
Yeah, both of those ruled wild pitches as the next pitch comes in.
And it's lined into center field. It's a game-tying single for Chris Newell. Nick Goodwin comes in, and the Mariners aren't done. It's 4-4.
That's why you never let down. I mean, to be able to come back in this game, down by 3, you constantly are advancing the runners around here, taking advantage of a couple of wild pitches out of the hand of Holliday. If not for those wild pitches, that just brings in a single run, and it's just a 4-2 ball game. Harwich, a really nice job reading those balls as they were able to get by Travinsky. Easy takes down to home plate for the Mariners, and it's setting them up here to be in a tie game now.
So there will be a bottom of the 9th. We know that for sure, but Brock Wilkins has got a chance to give his team the lead. They've put together a 3-run 9th and counting, just 1 away. Chris Newell over at first base. Wilkins up in the count 1-0. Holliday into his set. And the pitch. Wilkins lays off, but it's in there at the bottom of the zone to make it 1-1. Mariners
this season have not won a game when trailing after 8 innings. They are 0-9-0. So even if they can draw a tie, it would be pretty unprecedented what they're trying to do here.
1-1 delivery from Holliday is cut on and fouled off to the right, heading towards the bathroom here at Veterans Field, and it's 1-2.
And now how about this if you're Chatham? You are so close to getting your first win in over a week. But Harwich has put together a nice 3-run inning here. Now you have to have the offense show up in the bottom of the 9th inning.
As a breaking ball misses just down low, 2-2, and Harwich has tied 3 of their last 4 games. I mean, it's been something to see. That is for sure.
One of them against Chatham, too.
And so they're trying to steal a point away here in the late innings, maybe more. As here comes the 2-2 to Wilkin. He fouls it off. And we now will stay at 2-2. When you think about all the opportunities that Harwich has had, the fact that they just got here after all the woes of situational baseball is truly a marvel. Now trying to surpass all of that debt and climb in front here. They got 1 on and 1 away. 2-2 pitch coming to Brock Wilkin. There goes the runner and Newell. The throw is bouncing the dirt. Newell's in there. The pitch was a ball. Wilkin still alive. Bad throw from Hayden Travinsky. And a runner in scoring position now with 1 away and a full count to Brock Wilkin.
I mean, talk about high leverage here. Chatham went to the bullpen to relieve Ray, but Holiday has not given them much else. Back-to-back singles he's allowed.
Breaking ball down in the dirt. Brock Wilkin draws ball 4, and it's first and second with 1 away.
That's the past 4 batters now for the Mariners to have gotten on, including the 3 that Holiday's faced here in the top of the 9th. We have not seen Harwich really pass the torch like they have here in this 9th inning. This is something that just has evaded them so much here this season.
We're going to get a mound visit, I believe, as maybe a pitching change. They've just handed coach a glove. Maybe a defensive change? We have no idea what's going on at the moment. I believe one of the positional players is going to come into the mound, Tim?
We'll have to see here. As Caden Grice, I think, might step on the mound. He will.
Caden Grice will indeed. So we'll see what we can gather on him and take a quick break. All tied up here in the 9th inning. Holiday's night is over. We will take a quick break and see you on the other side. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Caden Grice will take the mound here. The first baseman moves to the pitcher's mound. It'll be Johnny Castagnazzi moving from 3rd to 1st. And Anthony Nunez comes into 3rd base with the exit of Holiday. Kind of an interesting sequence there. Now Grice will have to face Vetrano here with 1 away. Time is granted for the score, and Caden Grice has pitched in 1 game thus far. He walked a batter, struck out 2, across 1 inning. So not a bad start for him, and he's up already on Joe Vetrano, 0-1. Vetrano searching for RBI number 10 at the very least. He is in scoring position in the form of Chris Newell. Wilkins on first, the pitch. Swung on and missed. Joe Vetrano got caught leaning for that one. It's 0-2. Grice 91 miles an hour on that one. He is very tall out there. 6'6", 235 on that mound. He's got a lot of leverage. Here comes the 0-2 delivery from Grice. Swung on and missed. Joe Vetrano goes down on 3 pitches. Grice comes in and does not miss a beat. A big strikeout of the Boston College first baseman. And there's 2 away for Graham Pauley now.
Yeah, I mean, how about this? Caden Grice coming in, had no pitching statistics this season with the Anglers, but he's coming in a tough spot here, trying to preserve at least a point here for the Anglers if he can get one more out.
Another pitch bounce in the dirt. Nice stop behind the plate by Travinsky. He'll need a minute. Line for Holiday still open, but he did not record an out. Gave up 2 hits, 1 earned run, and walked a man. And 3 batters faced. It was a tough one for him. Murray's line is closed. He went 3 1/3, 1 hit, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, and 6 strikeouts. Most of it coming in this 9th inning after Holiday couldn't pick him up. 1-0 pitch now to Graham Pauley. Bounce in the dirt again, 2-0.
Yeah, he spikes the first 2 here. I mean, you have to wonder what that's like. You're a position player. You haven't been warming your arm up all game long. Every now and then you'll throw it around the horn, but not exactly typical for what he might expect as a routine coming into a game to pitch.
2-0 delivery to the Duke infielder is grounded foul off to the right, and it's 2-1. Pauley, the 8th batter of the inning. On the day, he is 1 for 4. Did have a single, but it will be a timely hit for him. He's already stolen Harwich a point against Cotuit. Can he get one more? The pitch. He chops it over to first base. Over to get it is Castagnazzi, and he steps on first, and Harwich's magic is over. They are able to tie it at 4-4 thanks to a flurry of offense. Levens came in, Kavanaugh came in, Goodwin came in to score. We'll take a quick break. We head to the bottom of the 9th. Harwich trying to lock up a point. We'll be back. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network.
shortstop from Oklahoma State, number 62.
Marcus Brown, Rock Riggio, and Hayden Travinsky looking for some heroics here to send the home crowd home happy. As Blake Purnell called to the bullpen, night is over for Gage Zeal. He went 3 2/3, allowed just 1 hit and struck out 5 with no walks and no runs allowed. Purnell on the season, his 5th appearance, a 2.84 ERA. He's pitched 6 1/3 innings, struck out 4 to just 2 walks, and allowed 8 hits. We'll see what he can do here as first pitch showed bunt from Brown, but it's in there for a strike, 0-1.
Yeah, that's what you want to do. Get right after it here in this 9th inning. Do not mess around whatsoever. Good job getting ahead in the count, 0-1.
Purnell pitched in the last game against Brewster, went an inning through just 12 pitches, so not a huge surprise to see him out there. Did allow 2 hits, though. Nothing came of it, though, as he was able to escape the inning with no harm done. He's got a chance to lock down another point for Harwich. Did it in that one, and now can do it in back-to-back. It's 0-2 to Marcus Brown, who on the day is 0 for 3, couple strikeouts and a ground out to second. 6, 7, 8 in the Chatham order are due up. The 0-2 is chopped off himself. Purnell continues to battle, 77 on that off-speed pitch, and we stay at 0-2.
And it's worth noting, too, that with the 1 strikeout thrown by Caden Grice in the 9th inning there, Mariners struck out 13 times tonight. That's the most they've struck out in a game this season.
It's been a bizarre one, but also one of their more resilient games. So I guess give and take as a pitch is flipped foul. Giving chase is Pauly, but it's going to get into the seats. Still 0-2. Marcus Brown doing a great job of spoiling off a few pitches here late in the ball game. 7 hits for the Mariners, 5 for the Anglers. Mariners looking for their 4th tie in the last 5 games. They've gotten just there, but not had enough to pass the threshold that it takes to win a ball game in a long, long time. I believe you said 9 games, Tim, they've had without a win. This would be 10. It is 10 officially, as they're unable to win. That one misses outside. Some defensive changes. Tommy Seidel moves out to right field as he hit for Will Hamner. Matt Gassetti is behind the plate for Tatum Levens. Couple former Florida Gators. They'll do some work out there. Makes a little sense why they made the defensive change. Some nice chemistry as this one is lifted out into left field, but right there is Press Kavanaugh, and he's got it easily, 1 away.
And this would make a winless streak of 9. This one here today. But the Mariners trying to notch their first non-loss when trailing after 8 innings of play. That's something they have not yet done this season. And to be able to lock up a tie here, and you said it, resilience the word. I mean, this is a game where offensively you've been absolutely stymied all day long, but you come out in the top of the 9th inning with a couple of at-bats and a dream, and you're able to tie the game.
Rock Riggio sends this one out into the gap, but Chris Newell is there. Very scary looking one off the bat, but it comes down back to earth, and Chris Newell hauls it in. It's a loud out number 2. Rock Riggio just about a bowl of Wheaties away from walking this thing off.
Yeah, that thing was absolutely sent back into the outfield. It looked like from our angle that thing was going to leave. I mean, all we could see was the line it was on. Couldn't exactly get a good read on its trajectory, so to speak, but I mean, that was just absolutely hammered. Chris Newell able to get there with plenty of time, though. Both he and Seidel were there.
So Hayden Travinsky, the last life for the Anglers if they want to take the extra point. And we mentioned it earlier as it's 0-1, but playoff implications are huge. So the fact that Harwich was able to eke out hopefully another tie, it's not official yet, I must remind myself, but it could prove to be big in the long swing of things. 0-1 is chopped over to third. Diving stop by Pauly, fires on a first. Not in time, or I'm not sure. Pauly made a sensational play to knock it down. Tried to fire it over, but not in time. I'd like to know if maybe Vetrano's foot was off the bag or he dropped it. Couldn't have a good angle here, but there is a base runner and now a pinch runner coming in.
Yeah, he didn't exactly look comfortable trying to field that ball over from third. It came in at an awkward hop. Caught Vetrano a bit short and just was not able to field that quite when he needed to.
Hogan will be the pinch runner that comes in for Travinsky, who did his job and was able to leg one out. Castagnazzi is struck out 3 times here tonight, all swinging. This would be some sort of story if he's able to extend the rally, as that one runs inside for ball 1. Purnell just about a couple feet away when you think in measurements of things and how that play developed from locking up a point, but he'll have to go out there, throw a few more pitches. As this one chopped foul back behind the plate, and it's 1-1.
Quick note, Matt Gussetti, he is transferring to Alabama for the upcoming season. Just got some new catcher's gear in, now donning the crimson of the Crimson Tide.
1 ball, 1 strike. Purnell locked in with Gianni Castagnazzi. A Gator on a Tar Heel here. Both righties. Let's see what Purnell can do as he blows another one by him, and now Castagnazzi is on the verge of donning his own golden sombrero. It's 1-2.
Boy, that thing can be just so tough to read coming out of the hand of Purnell. Comes in low and it just sweeps across, and Castagnazzi was just not able to find any of it.
He's got that sidearm style delivery is Purnell. Maybe 3/4 or a little less. 1-2, there goes the runner, and it's rung up, won't even matter. As Blake Purnell gets the strikeout looking, Castagnazzi can't believe it. That's his 4th K of the day. He gets the sombrero, and Harwich gets a point. We'll take a quick break and bring you the recap. Mariners 4, Anglers 4. Tie ball game. We'll be right back on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Welcome into the Harwich Mariners post-game show. Devin Dobeck, Tim Foley. The Mariners are able to steal a point from the Anglers thanks to a 3-run 9th inning to tie this one at 4-4. A great ball game, Tim. And boy, was this one of the more resilient games for Harwich following that horrible first inning.
Yeah, again, we mentioned it a few times, but the Mariners were 0-9 when trailing coming into the 9th inning, and they were able to pull one out where you get a point. And considering who the point was against and what you faced in losing a game like this, to potentially fall to 0-2-1 against Chatham with half your games against them played and head-to-head being so important when it comes to playoff seeding, I mean, you really just did yourself such a favor in regards to standings to be able to stay in this game, draw the tie. This tie for the Harwich Mariners, by the way, mind you, they're 4th of the season. This is the 2nd most ties the Harwich Mariners have recorded in a season since at least 1967. They had 3 back in 1970. You had 5 last year in 2021, and now you have 4 here in 2022. And again, the rules lead to more ties, but this has been very interesting to see Harwich. When you consider the fact that all 4 of the ties have come across their past 5 games. That's I would say impressive, just kind of unbelievable clip at which this team has been just drawing even with their opponents.
It definitely all happened very quickly. Just to recap, Carlson Reed went 4 1/3, allowed 4 earned runs, 4 hits, 3 walks, and 10 strikeouts, ties a season high among Mariner starters for strikeouts with Liam Sullivan at 10. He was fantastic. Zeal came in, went 3 2/3, allowed just the 1 hit, struck out 5, did not allow a run. Blake Purnell does his job, secures a point in back-to-back games, had the point secured against Brewster on the 4th of July. Now he gets one here. 1 inning of work, allows just the 1 hit and a strikeout. It was a great team game. Brock Wilkin picked up his 2nd homer of the season back in the 4th inning, and then from there, 8 batters that came up for the Mariners were able to swing across 3 runs and they tie it 4-4, Tim.
Yeah, no errors too, which it feels like we've seen it so many times where Harwich will commit an error and that will ultimately come back to bite them in some way, shape, or form. And if that results in an extra run for Chatham, then, well, your 3-run rally in the 9th, you still fall short. So huge that the team was able to play a clean game defensively here to lock up the point.
They locked up the point indeed, and that will do it. Tomorrow's game will be back at White House Field as the Mariners take on the YD Red Sox. Eric Raiselman will be towing the rubber for his second time in a Mariners uniform in 2022. He's countered by Drew Dowd of the YD Red Sox. So that about does it here from Veterans Field. On behalf of our entire media team, Tim Foley and myself, Devin Dobek, thank you so much for joining us on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network, and always remember to live the dream.